And it's clear, look, I don't think any governor in history has had to fight a war against the federal government every single day.
Well, I said this yesterday. We've never been at war with our federal government.
I think that it needs to be said that Governor Walz needs to step down. Him saying he will stay on to investigate is like O.J. Simpson saying he will investigate the murder of his ex-wife. Just doesn't work out.
In Minnesota, they were just caught forging documents, trying to cover their tracks. Should Tim Walz resign?
Well, I think Tim Walz should resign. I almost feel bad for the guy.
Like and subscribe to the channel. Hit the bell so you get notifications anytime I'll go live or make a video. Make sure you still subscribe to the channel because a bunch of people get unsubscribed for whatever reason. Make sure you shop at tatumstore.com. Let's get into this. Let's get to Tim Walz. Sorry, son of a gun should be in jail. And it's crazy to me that these people playing with our money like this. There's Minnesotans that are barely making it. And to be honest, if they could keep their own tax money, they'll have a little bit of extra money at the end of the month, a little bit of extra money at the end of the year to go buy the stuff that they need instead of giving their money to the government. This is why I don't believe in paying taxes. The government should let all the stuff that you claim that we need taxes for you to run, privatize it. You can have regulation, but privatize this stuff. Because we give y'all the money and y'all don't be doing right by the money. Listen to what Tim Walz did. This is how the government works. And they do this so they can get votes. They don't give a about you. They want the migrants. They want illegals. They want to influx all these people and give them everything so they can secure a vote. If you want some of this merch, we got the coldest merch in the game, the best printers in the game. You can get you an ice thing, or you can get you one that says "Don't F with the U.S." That's my favorite shirt. We printing that right now. I can't wait to put it on and wear it. And the shirt I got on right now, pretty fire too. But if you want to go to some of our best sellers, some of our fan favorites, jump on there and get it 26% off. 26% off. They don't give a about you. They want the migrants. They want illegals. They want to influx all these people and give them everything so they can secure a vote. Because when you give your money, this is what they're doing with it. Roll the clip.
The performance audit shows the Behavioral Health Administration sent millions of dollars out the door in grants without making proper checks into who was receiving them. And that is not even the most jaw-dropping finding. Lou Raguse has tonight's top story. Lou?
Julie, according to the nonpartisan legislative auditor, this is another case of mismanagement of taxpayer money. But perhaps the most explosive revelation is that managers within DHS, the Department of Human Services, tried to cover their tracks by backdating and creating new documents.
Hold on a second. You ain't never going to get your money back, though. I want the people to understand it. This is what ticked me off the most. They uncover all this stuff, and they didn't you out of your money without consent. And now we found it out. You still ain't getting that money back. That money gone. Roll the clip.
But I do want to talk about what a serious issue this is and how it is, frankly, unacceptable.
Another sobering report by the Office of the Legislative Auditor, this one concerning the Behavioral Health Administration within the Department of Human Services, which issues grants to providers treating mental health and drug and alcohol addiction, hundreds of millions of dollars each year. The audit found them issuing grants to applicants without a bidding process.
So what we saw is that there was multiple entities that could have been eligible, and they chose not to provide a justification for why they were picking those.
This report is quite stunning.
One outrageous example, the auditors found a grantee that was paid $672,000 for 1 month of work without any info on what they do. And the audit says the grant manager who paid it then left DHS a couple days later and became a paid consultant for that company.
Time out. Man, how I didn't get involved in this fraud, man? God dang. $600,000 in 1 month, tax-free. The person got themselves $600,000, quit, and became a payee of the company they just got paid. Why can't, man, what have we been doing? $600,000. And they ain't gonna do nothing about it. I ain't gonna lie, man. I want to be right by God, but there's some times where I'm like, man, I should have did some fraud. We working our butt off in here, trying to keep the lights on, and you got people out here getting millions of dollars in fraud, and they not even doing nothing. They don't even have to show that they run a company. Finish the clip. Just put a clip on there.
That's criminal.
Auditor Judy Randall says she was most shocked that during the audit, multiple DHS managers backdated or created new documents to try to cover their tracks.
Frankly, in the 27 plus years I've been with OLA, I have never seen this before. I will say we have had suspicions periodically, but we have never been able to prove it, to document it. And we did in this case. And it's very troubling.
Temporary DHS Commissioner Shireen Gandhi's response.
I was shocked to hear this information in the exit conference, and it is absolutely unacceptable that any staff would provide anything other than accurate representation of the work done to an auditor.
Now, there were a lot of questions from lawmakers about whether this audit should result in criminal investigations. So we'll see what comes from that.
Yeah.
The Office of the Legislative Auditor provides recommendations both to the department and to lawmakers in case law changes are needed. Just one more time of what the auditor said regarding this fabrication of documents. She called it a systemic problem within DHS.
I mean, Lou, it just seems like every time you think it can't get worse, it does. I do think this is jaw-dropping. You mentioned that they were talking about criminal investigations. I think I speak for a lot of people watching right now who really want there to be some kind of accountability. Did you get any sense from that meeting today or in talking to any of your sources that there actually will be accountability?
Well, no, that's something that's going to require some follow-up, because one problem the auditors had is they didn't have subpoenas to issue to people that no longer work for the BHA within the DHS, and so they couldn't bring those people in and question them, and so it would take an outside agency such as law enforcement to look into it.
We wouldn't even be here today if it wasn't for mind-dead people with a mental virus going on, with a tapeworm in their brain. We don't even have to be arguing. We don't even have to have problems in our country. It's only these people that just create stupid stuff for no reason. Roll the clip.
So would you say this is the Somali population is an important demographic for Democrats to win over politically?
Unquestionably.
Got it. And do you think it would have hurt Democrats' political standing with the Somali population to investigate this fraud?
Very clearly.
Got it. So in other words, you're saying that there was a political incentive to cover up widespread Somali fraud. Is that right?
100%.
Got it. Let me ask all three of you. Did the Walz administration and Democrats intentionally, in your opinion, overlook this fraud while it was happening for political gain? I'll start with you, Ms. Robbins.
Absolutely. We have credible whistleblower reports that the Department of Human Services administration up to the OIG and the commissioner met with a group called the Minnesota Minority Child Care Association multiple times, and that they were trying to weaken protections. We wanted, we had several changes we wanted to do, and they opposed all of them.
And Mr. Hudson and Ms. Rarick, and then my time is up.
I would agree.
Absolutely. The whistleblowers confirm it.
Got it. Thank you.
All right, let's get to the next clip, the last one that J.D. Vance had made mention in Jesse Waters' show that Tim Walz should resign and probably should go to jail. Roll the clip.
In Minnesota, they were just caught forging documents, trying to cover their tracks. Should Tim Walz resign?
Well, I think Tim Walz should resign. I almost feel bad for the guy, except for the fact that he should have seen this. And whether there was something criminal, whether he was aware of the fraud, which would be criminal, or whether he simply looked the other way, it's a massive, massive failure of government. The Trump administration, by the way, we've already sent hundreds and hundreds of additional people, of resources that are starting to investigate this stuff, get to the bottom of it. Stephen Miller sent people who are literally going door to door at some of these fraudulent daycare centers and trying to understand just how deep the rabbit hole goes.
And the funny thing is that Nick Shirley did all this. Just a regular person, 20-some-year-old kid, did all this stuff. And he exposed a lot of this. It's almost like the ripple effect that we see today and all these people getting exposed is because of Nick Shirley. And I think Nick Shirley going to continue to go around the country exposing more and more fraud. And that's going to cause these local law enforcement or state legislators or whatever, whoever's in charge of different elements of crime that's being committed, for them to have to act. And speaking of Nick Shirley, I want you guys to make sure we support his security. Pull up my computer. I think people don't understand, and I would argue that I still have to convince Nick to a certain degree to understand how dangerous this is. They killed Charlie Kirk, and Charlie Kirk wasn't making them lose hundreds of millions of dollars. So if you're interested in supporting Nick Shirley and his security, obviously Blackline Security covers all of his security 24/7. But also we need to raise money through the Guardian Fund, which is a nonprofit, so Nick don't have to pay for it out of his pocket. That's the only reason we'll go to the Guardian Fund, is because Nick wouldn't have to pay for it out of his pocket. We use Zeffy for the donation platform, which means that there's no fees. The only way that Zeffy makes money is if you guys want to give a tip to Zeffy. 2,500 people have donated to Nick Shirley's fund. You guys can pick whichever one of these funds of your choice. You can make it a monthly payment. But we need to support Nick Shirley. Okay. And I'll just let you guys know, we raised probably about $120,000 for Nick so far. He's going to need $1 million to cover 24-hour security in a situation like he's in right now, which is, and I feel for him because he shouldn't have to. He's just exposing the truth. But these people want to kill him. We did a preliminary threat assessment, or at least an online threat assessment for Nick Shirley, and people are clearly threatening his life all the time. We got up 6 pages of documents. And so I'm just encouraging everybody that's watching this to give something, even if it's like $1. It's the Blackline Guardian Fund, blacklineguardianfund.com. We'll put the link below. Even if you gave $1, $10, some of y'all rich. Really, I want y'all to pass this around so one of these billionaires can, that $1 million is nothing to them, they could just cover his security for a year at least. And then he can work on it from there.